Hey, everybody, it's Greg again. It's another edition of Unbreakable podcast. It is Thursday, April 16th, halfway through the month of April already. Oh, my God, time is flying. There's my buddy Coco up there. Hey, Coco. Hi, Coco. Hey, he doesn't care. He doesn't. Anyway, we're just chilling. We're just hanging. It's a hot day here in Pennsylvania. 90s next week, freeze warnings at night. This roller coaster weather. It's crazy, isn't it? Sweating our butts off here today. Need the extra blanket next week. Going from the air conditioner to the heater in a matter of a couple of days. What the hell? Anyway, congratulations to the Sixers and the Flyers for making the playoffs. I actually think the Flyers are going to beat the Penguins. Penguins have the home ice advantage, but Flyers usually play pretty well out of Pittsburgh. And the reason I think the Flyers are going to win this series is because it's a battle between old and new. You know, Pittsburgh still has Sidney Crosby, a lot of those old guys. Flyers have a lot of up and coming new guys, and I don't think they're afraid of the Penguins. You know, they're new. They're new players. You know, they weren't around back when the Penguins were a pain in the ass back 5-10 years ago. So I think we go into Pittsburgh and we win one over there, split, and come back home. And the Flyers are a hot team. You have to agree with that. Flyers are peaking at the right time. They have gotten hot just in time to go into the playoffs. And I love backing a hot team going into the playoffs. Sixers, on the other hand, yeah, congratulations, Sixers. They won last night. They did what they had to do. They beat Orlando, play-in game. Now they got the Celtics. Not that the Celtics can't be beat, even though Sixers haven't beaten the Celtics in a playoff series since the 1980s. Sixers could do it, but will they? Nah. I mean, not that they're not trying. Maxey, still a hell of a player. VJ Edgecombe. You know, Embiid looks like he's going to be out for this series, at least. I just don't think they have enough to beat the Celtics. The key is going to be three-point shooting. You know, if the Celtics have an off night beyond the arc, yeah, maybe you could beat them. Celtics wear you down, though. The thing is, they're hitting threes while you're hitting twos. And it's just bad. It adds up that they're going to score more points. But, you know, the Celtics have the home court advantage. I'll tell you what, though. Game one is on Sunday at 1 o'clock. I wouldn't be surprised if the Sixers steal game one. If you remember correctly, a couple of years ago, when the Sixers played the Celtics in the playoffs, and the Sixers were up in that series and could have put the Celtics away in game 6 in Philadelphia and did not do it. Celtics survived, and then they went back to Boston for game 7, and they crushed the Sixers up there. So it's possible, but in that series, don't forget, the Sixers stole game 1. And if you're going to steal a game, it's game 1. Because Boston hasn't played, you know, really in a while. They've been off. And, you know, that's the game you want to steal before Boston settles in, you know. You want to steal game 1. And all of a sudden, then you have some attention, just like they did a few years ago. It's like, uh-oh. So, now let's see what happens. I mean, game 1 on Sunday is going to be key. If the Sixers steal that game in Boston, Sixers still would be underdogs to me, but they would definitely have a better chance of taking the series. If they lose on Sunday, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because for game 2, Sixers would have their backs to the wall. It would be almost a must-win situation. And it's possible the Celtics could take the Sixers for granted, you know? But I just would feel better if the 76ers won Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock and went up in the series 1-0. So Phillies still stink. I can't believe that. They are getting off to a bad start. They're 8-10. You know, the old adage was, don't judge a team, a baseball team, until Memorial Day, which is true. And even like Mike Schmidt used to say, first 20 games of the season, that's where you could start to have a pretty good idea what you have in your team. Well, I tell you what, these Sixers are 8-10. They got 2 more games until they hit game 20. And even if they beat the Braves Friday and Saturday and they go 10-10, that's still average. You're still a 500 team. So I don't know. The Phillies just are not playing good ball. Everybody says, oh, it's early, it's early. Yeah, but when does it stop being early? You're losing all these home games. You know, the Phillies lost their 3rd home series in a row, whereas last year they only lost 3 home series the whole freaking season. They've already lost more series than they did last year. So that's not a good sign. Plus, it's just the way they're playing. They're playing stupid baseball. It's like their heads aren't in the game. It's like they're distracted. They're thinking of something else. No passion, no hunger, no excitement. It's like, are they an image of their manager who's this laid back, analytical guy? Oh, we'll get him tomorrow. Really? Have they tuned Rob Thompson out? Is that what's happening? I don't know. I don't know, or they just not good enough. I mean, you and I being fans, knew the Phillies weren't good enough this year because they didn't improve themselves. Other teams around them improved themselves. Even though the Mets have lost 8 in a row, they're having a tough time. They're even below the Phillies, for God's sakes. But the Phillies lost ground because they lost Ranger Suarez. They lost Harrison Bader. They didn't really pick up guys. Dave Dombrowski said, oh, we're content with what we have. Well, are you really? With Alec Bogue at 3rd base? See, the Phillies thought they were going to get through this year with Alec Bogue. And then at the end of the year, when he's a free agent, they were going to let him walk. And then Aiden Miller, their prize prospect down on the farm, would just come right up next year and take over 3rd base. Smooth transition, right? But it's not working out that way because Alec Bogue sucks right there. And I guess I would play Edmundo Sosa a little bit more at 3rd. You don't want to play him too much because then he gets exposed. Edmundo Sosa is not an everyday player. He's a good fill-in. He's a really good fill-in. You may want to play Sosa 3 or 4 times a week, maybe at different positions. That is Sosa. He's the jack of all trades. He's like your Swiss Army knife. He can play second. He can play short. Actually, he's a natural shortstop, and he's a great fielder. He can play 3rd. He can play a little outfield, but he's not an everyday player. He's going to get exposed, but you play him here and there during the season. He helps you out. I don't know what's going to happen with these Phillies. And now the pitching staff is getting roasted. They gave up 12 runs last night after giving up 13 runs the night before. It's the first time the Phillies have given up double-digit runs in quite a few years as well. So I don't know. I mean, Jose Luzardo is getting shelled, but last year he was tipping his pitches until they fixed him, and then he took off. This year he got shelled yesterday, and they asked him after doing about tipping his pitches. Oh, I'm not tipping them. How do you know that you're not tipping your pitches? If you know that you're not tipping your pitches, you want to do it. I mean, how do you know that you're not doing it? You may be doing something very, very settling. Maybe moving your head, your glove, whatever. And the other team has picked up on it because I tell you what, last night the Cubbies seemed like they knew what was coming. They were laying off Luzardo's fastball, and they were sitting on his slider and his sweeper and his changeup, and they pounded him. So to me, it looks like he's tipping these pitches. I'm not a professional. I'm not a coach, but it seems like he's doing the same thing as he did last year. So it's got to be because his velocity is still there. I don't think he has a sure arm, but I don't know what's wrong. Is he a head case? Is that what's going on with it? So I'm kind of hoping it is a tipping problem and that they can fix it in between starts in the bullpen, and he'll come back, Because right now, this staff sucks. Zach Wheeler has one more game in the minors on Sunday for Reading, and he may be back. Taiwan Walker, don't tell me we have to endure another Taiwan Walker start on Friday against the friggin' Atlanta Braves who are coming in, who lead the division. We're actually playing good ball. Considering all the injuries they've had, they're playing good ball. They're veterans. Acuna, those guys. Ozzy Albies, Austin Riley, those guys. They've been around forever. They're playing good ball. That will soon. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. We got Taiwan Walker. If you watch my show last year, we did a Taiwan Walker farewell party. Not that he was really needed. It was like a hopeful party. We had snacks. We had a good time. We sang the Taiwan Walker goodbye, but don't let the door hit you with a good little split ya. We said bon voyage, Taiwan Walker. Well, it did happen because the Phillies, they don't want to eat his money. They made the mistake of signing him to a bad contract. And now we, the fans, have to put up with his ridiculous stuff every 5 days. It's not right. And it's a shame because the Phillies don't have anybody else, especially with Zach Wheeler. It's kind of scary that they can't bring anybody up from the farm, but, in lieu of Taiwan freaking Walker. So anyway, we got to endure him at least one more start against the Bravos. You would hope the Phillies would, right the ship because it's a big series coming. I mean, it's early in the season. It's April, but you could lose a division in April, just like you can lose it in September. The Braves, it's the Braves. You don't have that many chances to play them with the revised schedule. So you got to take at least 2 out of 3 at home this weekend, don't you? Phillies have Taiwan Walker going, and they have Christopher Sanchez. He just doesn't look like himself this year. I don't know. Is it the contract extension? Looks off balance. Something's not right. And you got Andrew Payne. We got racked around last time, but he's sort of our savior. He's our hope. I don't know. Let's see what they do this weekend before they head out on the road again. They go to Chicago for 4 games out there. Paybacks are hell, Cubs. And then they go to Atlanta next weekend. Play the Braves down here. So let's see what happens. Let's hope the Phillies take 2 out of 3 this weekend. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it. The way they're playing, such trashy baseball. But we'll see. So there's a lot to watch, isn't there? You got Phillies baseball. You got Sixers Celtics playoff. You got another rivalry. Flyers Penguins. You got the draft coming up in the NFL next week. This time next week, Thursday, the Eagles will be picking 23rd unless they trade up or trade down during the evening. Now, will they take an offensive tackle and start to turn the page on Lane Johnson, even though he'll be back this year? I think they better because Dave Johnson's not going to be around forever. And when he's hurt, he's not able to play. There's a big drop off naturally. He's an all-pro guy. And he's an all-timer, Dave Johnson. You have to get a kid in here who Dave Johnson can teach while he's still around. Somebody who's eventually going to fill in for Dave Johnson once they retires. So it'd be nice if the Eagles had their eye on an offensive tackle who they really. They could pick a tight end because even though they re-signed Dallas Goedert only for 1 year, they need to address that position because they really don't have too much behind Dallas Goedert. He's going to play tight end down the road. They need a young tight end. That kid out of Oregon is huge and it's fast. He would be good if he fell to 23. But you know Howie, he likes to trade up, he likes to trade back. I'd be very surprised if he stayed at 23. And as the draft goes on, of course, the Eagles love linemen, defensive, offensive. We win the games in the trenches. That's where you win the games. And so I would be surprised if they loaded up on some defensive ends, defensive tackles, that sort of thing. And lastly, the secondary can never have enough quarterbacks, never have enough safeties. I think running back is pretty well covered now. Linebacker, quarterback. Will they choose a young quarterback for the future? I mean, what are you going to do with Tanner McKee? Are they going to trade him next weekend? Get what they can? Or is it going to be a big surprise and they're going to trade Jalen Hurts? Or keep Tanner McKee? I don't know. Howie is capable of anything. And before you say, oh, Greg, they're not going to trade Jalen Hurts. Well, they just don't give a problem. Don't put it past Howie. He's a wheeler dealer. That's what makes Howie so great. He's unpredictable. And don't forget, we once thought that Carson Wentz was our future, didn't we? We ended up drafting Jalen Hurts in the second round, and pretty soon Carson Wentz was out the door. So nothing would surprise me. Nothing would surprise me. I mean, Andy Dalton isn't going to be the future. No, so I don't know. Maybe the future quarterback of the Eagles is not on the roster right now. We're thinking that. Maybe it's not Jalen Hurts. Maybe it's not Tanner McKee. What are they going to do with A.J. Brown? Are they going to trade him after June 1st? Or are they going to keep him? They've been, courting a lot of these veteran wide receivers, which is good, but it makes it look like they're going to trade A.J. Brown and get what they can. They better get a lot from A.J. Brown, because I like A.J. Brown. I don't care. Yeah, he's moody. He's a weirdo. He's mouthy at times. But you know what? He can play. And I've always said from the beginning, I'm an A.J. Brown fan. Throw him the ball. That's what he was. Throw him the damn ball. He's a beast, especially after you target him 15 times a game. I bet you he catches 8, 9, 10 passes. Some of those passes, he's going to break away. He may go 60, 70 yards for you. I mean, you have A.J. Brown. You spent a draft pick to get him, you pay him, use him. Keep him happy. So he's not on the bench reading books. So, I don't know. Are they going to trade him? If they trade him, they better get something good back. That's all I'm saying. You know how he does like to stock up those draft picks for the future. Could he possibly trade A.J. Brown after June 1st? Or maybe a first round draft pick next year? Could he trade Tanner McKee during the draft for the first round draft pick next year? Or then what? It's possible. Because Howie does think ahead of times like that. So it depends who he trades it to, right? I mean, you figure, okay, you trade a Tanner McKee to a team who really needs a quarterback, right? So, I don't know. get him to somewhere like a Minnesota or something, and you hope Minnesota is bad, and you end up all of a sudden, you end up with a top 10 pick. That's all I'm saying. And how he likes the package picks too, to move up and down in terms. It's going to be a very, very interesting off season for the Eagles and Drew. I think this team is at a crossroads. They have plenty of talent yet. Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, that young talent on defense, plenty of talent. Creepy DeGene, they just won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So I don't think they need that much. They maybe just need a tune-up, a little tune-up here and there. But I think it is going to be an important off season for the Eagles to come back. The next year's schedule is going to be tough, as it should be. They finished first again in the division, so they're playing all the first place teams. So, and don't forget, you have a new offensive coordinator. When you change coordinators, it's always an adjustment period. Look how Vic Fangio came in and improved this defense so much when he came in a couple of years ago. So, it takes time to adjust to a new system. And hopefully it's a good system that Sean Mannion is implementing, the new offensive coordinator, but we don't know until we see it, until the players are playing. So let's give it a chance. Let's give it time. But I do have to say that it would be very interesting to see what the other teams, especially in our division, do next week. Dallas has 2 number 1 draft picks. But that's doesn't matter. Dallas could still suck and not pick the right guys. Just because you have 2 draft picks doesn't mean you're going to pick the right guys. It's up to talent evaluation too. The Giants are improved. I mean, you got to hand it to them. Jackson Dart looks like a player. And then watch out for the Giants, and now they have Harbaugh as the coach. The Giants, hopefully, New York fans anyway, he brings some stability. God knows they need it. And the Commanders, who knows, Washington. I still have a lot of young talent there, but especially with Daniel at quarterback. But we thought they were going to be good last season after they played the Eagles in the NFC Championship game 2 years ago. Washington really slacked off, didn't they, last year? So who knows? I do know that a lot of the teams around the Eagles have gotten better. So I'm not overwhelmed so far with the offseason that Howie has had. I mean, nothing has knocked my socks off. He didn't go out and get Max Crosby. I don't know. Let's see what he does. With Howie, I give him grace because he's proven to us how many times that you gotta give him time. He knows what he's doing. If anybody in sports, I'm not just talking about football. I'm talking about front offices, anyone in professional sports. Anybody knows what to do and has a game plan, it's Howie Roseman. So I trust him. And I hope he delivers again. And I'd rather have Howie as my GM than Dave Dombrowski. You like Dave Dombrowski? Do you really? You like him? Well, I'm content with this Philadelphia Phillies team. I'm content. I don't need to make any moves. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right. Dave Dombrowski, 1 foot out the door. Not like 1 foot in the grave, don't get me wrong. He wants to go back to Nashville where he has a home. He's hoping Nashville gets a major league franchise down there so he could join them and be a part of the franchise. So, I don't know. I'm not saying he's not a good GM, but he doesn't overwhelmingly do this. It was all upsetting when Dave Dombrowski came in and took over for Matt Clintock, who was the worst. Now, Matt Clintock doesn't look so bad. But I don't know. Dave Dombrowski he doesn't, maybe you agree with me. He doesn't seem as aggressive as he used to be, you know? Dave Dombrowski used to go out there and make deals, wheeling and dealing, taking chances. I mean, Dave Dombrowski in the past that was his MO. He would go into a major league city, hoping to get that team over the hump into the World Series. That's what he did in Boston. He traded away a lot of the prospects, which he thought he was going to do here in Philadelphia, which, to his credit, he didn't do. We still have Andy Miller, we still have Andrew Painter, we still have Justin Crawford. Just hasn't worked out here. I thought he'd be a little more aggressive without trading one of those guys to get some help. Because, my friends, the window is closing. This Phillies team is an old team, but they're getting older by the day. So, if you're going to get back to the World Series like they did a couple of years ago, if you're going to actually win the damn World Series, you got to do it because pretty soon you're going to be turning the page on this Phillies team. In fact, if the Phillies don't get their act together, maybe by the trade deadline this year, Dave Dombrowski may be looking to unload some of these high-priced veterans. Now, who wants to take on Bryce Harper's contract? Nobody, unless he's having a decent year. Then maybe Bryce Harper could get somebody over the hump, like a Boston Red Sox or a Yankee team, you know. Same with Schwarber. 5 years now. But if someone was willing to pay him during the off season, maybe he would, and they'd be willing to pay him just to get back over that hump again. I don't know. I'm just saying, guys might go at the trade deadline in January if they don't start playing. Certainly, Alec Bowe would go because he's not coming back anyway. He's going to be a free agent when the season ends. So why not try to get something? Bryson Stott, same way, right? You can even trade like Adolis Garcia. I don't know who wants him. JT Realmuto, nobody's been, 3 years? He's old. He's got declining skills. Who wants him? Nobody wanted him during the off season. Yeah. So let's see what happens. I mean, to me, Memorial Day is going to be the key. That's still 6 weeks away. This Phillies team could turn it around. They could be on top of the division, and we'll be like, this is all a laugh in the park. But chances are, maybe not. You know, they need a spark. There's no spark. And the manager, somebody plug him in. He's like a robot or something. You know what? He is a clone of his mentor, Joe freaking Girardi. Remember Joe Girardi? Always looking down at his notebook at the analytics. Wasn't watching the game. Everything was analytics. Well, the book says, yeah, right. You know what to do with that book. So, you know, that's what he's turned into, a Joe Girardi. Because that's who he used to hang out with all the time, up with the Yankees. But I don't know. There's a little bit more calling for Thompson's head if things don't change by Memorial Day. Possibly. Maybe that would give this team a spark. Hey, I wouldn't put it past John Middleton. You know, he's been busy so far trying to get rid of, take everything out of Citizens Bank Park that's nostalgic. You know, Harry DeKay's gone. The right field scoreboard gone. The clock in center field that used to be at the Connie Mack Stadium gone. So he could save a buck, and he could bring in some new corporation. They just in time for the All-Star game to come back this year. You make the stadium really sterile, you know. You take away all the charm. So he's been busy doing that. But possibly after the All-Star game is over, before the trade deadline in late July, he'll get his act together and he'll say, you know what? Why am I paying these guys? Why am I paying these guys? Let's get rid of these guys. get what you can, get some prospects. Let's not turn into page, okay? And while you're at it, John Middleton, fire a manager and especially fire that do nothing general manager. Let's start over, okay? Because I'll tell you what, my friends, right now, the Phillies are not fun to watch. Yeah, because not winning. But the thing of it is, even if they're winning, it helps. But the kind of baseball that they play is they don't play small ball. They don't know how to play small ball. They don't know how to butt with a damn. Hit and run, stealing bases. This manager plays like Earl Weaver. He manages like Earl Weaver. He used to be a manager for the Baltimore Orioles back in the 70s, 60s, 70s. And he always played for the 3-run homer. Never tried to sacrifice people over, hit, run, steal base. You got a couple guys on base, just stay there and wait for the next guy to hit a 3-run homer. That's how the Orioles try to score to go along with the great pitching and great defense. So time is ticking on these Phillies. And if they don't start playing better, we will see what happens by Memorial Day, certainly by the end of July. I had a feeling this group, the daycare, they've been a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to grow. And Thompson, they came up around the time Joe Girardi was fired. Because Joe Girardi didn't play the young kids. He wanted to play like D. Gregorius. Remember that guy, shortstop? I don't know if he is still around. I was going to say Ernie DiGregorio. Yeah, Ernie DiGregorio was a point guard basketball player at a Providence college who played for the Boston Celtics for a while because he was an Italian and he was a white guy. And he played up there. DJ Jordan, whatever. Anyway, he's still. And that's who Joe Girardi would play. But when the Phillies brought up, remember this, when the Phillies brought up Bryson Stott, when they brought up Alec Bohm, and then they traded for Brandon Walsh, it gave this team a spark. Yeah? Remember, the Phillies played really well after that. I think they did it. They went on to win the division that year on DVD. They played really, really well. And maybe that's what these veterans need. They need a little kick in the butt from some younger guys. Now, the thing is, the Phillies don't really have that many younger guys on the farm who can come up like Stott and Bohm did and compete with these veterans. Add a little spark. They don't have very much. The cupboard is bare, as far, especially position players on the field. So what are you going to do? You get the position players, the younger players, through trades, I guess. And nobody's going to want to trade with you now. It's too soon. A lot of these teams, even though a lot of teams who are buried in the cellar, I mean, we're just halfway through April. They're still saying like Colorado, William, come on, Minnesota. Some of these teams are playing good ball. They're not going to. But they can't cheat. They can cheat. The Pirates are in first place. The freaking Pirates. At least the Pirates have some talent, especially pitching. So that's why teams aren't going to trade with him right now, because they all feel they still have a chance. And with the wild cards, they do have a chance. So even if the Phillies wanted a deal, they're not going to deal until June at the very earliest. The Phillies are what they are right now. And the general manager said, I am content with this team. Okay, Dave Dombrowski, you're content with this team, so be content with it. You got him. You're stuck with him for okay? So you just got to hope to pull that. I don't know. I guess I need to go down there. I haven't been to a game this year. My first game is in the middle of May. It's a day game against Cincinnati. That should be a good game. I think before the game, I need to go into the clubhouse and maybe crack some things like I used to do, you know? I'm too much of a nice guy. But I should go down there put some people up against the wall and say, look, start playing better. What do you want me to do? Run your foot over? You know, we gotta hope that they play better. That's all we can do for us. So, but at least, hey, at least we have some diversion, right? We got the Flyers in the playoffs. Who would have thunk? We got the Sixers in the playoffs. Who would have thunk? And now we got the Eagles coming up for the big draft next weekend. Oh boy. And then we got all the playoffs. And all of a sudden, the Kentucky Derby is every couple of Saturdays. I mean, this is great stuff. So we got to enjoy it. I hope the Phillies come in. All right. That's it. I'll leave you now. And I hope I'm not back tomorrow, which is Friday. I'll be back probably Monday. Don't forget, I'm going to be at the Collegeville Italian Bakery this Saturday from 12 to 3. Just hanging out with all my friends over there. And might have a hoagie or something. I don't know. Pizza. Come and have a pizza with me. And I'm there really to talk about my book, Stronger Than Bone, which is out there. You can read it and listen to it. And but Steve at Collegeville Bakery, nice enough to have me hang around for a couple hours on Saturday. So thank you, Steve. And by the way, before I leave, get well soon to my other friend, Steve Trevelise, the greatest DJ of them all. WIP Sports Radio and his station over in New Jersey. He is in the hospital. My God, I hope he's out by now. But he had surgery. I'm not telling you the details. He was on Facebook yesterday. That's how I found out. He had surgery. Had some kind of a tumor on his kidney. Hopefully they removed it all. He's good to go. We'll rest up a little bit and he'll be back at it. And we need Steve Trevelise. We need him because he brings a lot of laughter and smiles to this world, which God knows we need that now. So Steve Trevelise, my friend in Jersey, I hope you feel better. Take it easy, all right? Hey, take it easy. I'm glad I got to talk to you last Friday night. And we'll do it again soon. A lot of good Beatles stuff to talk about pretty soon, too. So hang in there, and I'm glad you feel good. All right, everybody, take care. Peace and love. Everybody have a great weekend in case I don't see you. Go Phillies tomorrow. They start that weekend series against the Bravos. Go Flyers tomorrow in Pittsburgh. Go Sixers Sunday at Boston. I know what I'm going to do this weekend. Other than going to the bakery, I'm going to be lounging around, watching all the sports. Let's hope we have a good winning weekend too. All right, everybody, take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.